All right, here on the Gold Coast with boxing commentator Ted Cofie. Ted, it's a massive opportunity for Jai Opetaia this week. Your thoughts on this fight?
It is a great opportunity for Jai, but an even bigger opportunity for David Nyika, who's a great guy. He's got a fistic, emotional attitude, and he's going to go out there and do his best. But what an event! It's bringing the whole of the world's boxing scene and circle and the whole of the world's media here. So brilliant to be in Australia and in particular on the Gold Coast for this week.
For Jai Opetaia, what's at stake here? I mean, this could be a roadblock, a hurdle, a banana skin for him. What does David Nyika bring to the fight that Jai needs to be mindful of?
Well, he brings fitness, passion, raw aggression, and he brings, massive opportunities to change his own life. We've all seen David. He's got the, great physique, and he's obviously very strong, and he's got good boxing pedigree. He's got a good amateur background, and he knows what to do in a boxing ring. So I like the fact that Jai doesn't really sleep on anybody, and I think he treats every single individual as a really, really stern opponent. And he's going to need to for David Nyika because I think David's going to bring his 110 game. And could it be a banana skin? Will it be a banana skin or just a loss to a better guy on the night? I don't know. But I think if Jai wins, it catapults him onto the unifications that he's been talking about. And if he doesn't win, then it, slides him down the snakes and ladders formula a little bit. But I think that either way, we're going to get a brilliant fight. And I think both guys are going to give gladiatorial performances.
Let's talk Jai Opetaia, Zerto Ramirez. Let's talk about Jai Usyk potentially in the future. You said before about the psychological aspect of looking too far ahead and fighters that do that. All the media, the promoters are going to be looking ahead, but how important is it that Jai stays focused on this fight?
Yeah, ultimately, that's the name of the game. I mean, it's very easy to look ahead, especially when there's, so many carrots being dangled in front of you, whether it be money, whether it be other fighters, whether it be more belts, whether it be the Ring Magazine Championship and everything else that goes along with it. It's really, really vital that, Jai stays on point and focused on this particular fight. I think it's come far enough out from when Sincura pulled out that he's had a chance to really think about David Nyika for who he is. And that will allow Jai to bring the best game. I like David Nyika. He's a great guy. I wish him all the best. But also, equally, Jai has brought the eyes of the world onto Australia this weekend. And I think he just needs to stay focused. I think, yes, you do need to be a bit strategic and think about the Zerto Ramirez of the world. But in that strategy, you need to kind of just close the door for a minute and just really focus on what's in front of you because I think he's got a really heavy task, and David Nyika has definitely got the strength to cause some troubles.
We can look ahead though. Jai Opetaia, Ramirez, Jai Opetaia, Usyk. How do you see those fights, and how hard would it be for Jai to go up to heavyweight potentially?
I don't think it would be that hard. I think he's the kind of guy that has to cut weight to come down to cruiser. So I don't think he's walking around at 90 kilograms or, 200 pounds. So I don't think it would be that hard. And to be fair, Usyk's not a massive heavyweight. So it's not like he has to go up, 30, 40 kilos or many, many, many US pounds. But I think that, I don't like the Usyk fight for Jai, personally. Also because he's a southpaw, he's a great boxer, and Usyk's kind of at the end of his career, and I think there will just be loads of excuses thrown in, if he beat Usyk. He's already done. He left all his hard work with Joshua, he left his hard work with Fury, and now Jai just got him at the right time. So I think he'll be kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't in that fight. But Zerto Ramirez is young, he's unified, he's called Jai out now, he showed interest, and I think that's going to be a cultivating and captivating fight for the sport of boxing. So I would like to see the Zerto Ramirez fight. Also, I think I'd like to see Eddie Hearn beat Oscar De La Hoya. That would be a massive one again at the top end. But I'd really look forward to that one if it happens, if and when it happens.
Big news the past few weeks, DAZN buying out News Corp's share in Foxtel. You've worked for Foxtel in the past, you're doing some work with DAZN now. What do you make of that buyout, and what impact do you see that having on the landscape here in Australia?
I think it's brilliant. I think there's a global media landscape that's really coming into reality now. We spoke about it. My daughter is helping me with social media, and it's not my thing. I'm a bit old school. I'm getting used to it now. I'm getting a bit better, but I mean, this is real. Like if you're not into streaming, get into streaming like it's real. Like when people first heard about DAZN, they were calling it DAZN, DAZN, everything. Now that they brought Foxtel, at least everyone's going to be able to pronounce DAZN. But I think it's great for the fact that they kind of take that terrestrial type TV station. They maneuver it from Murdoch. It's a massive engine. The whole global Fox thing is a massive engine. So for DAZN to actually buy that, keep it in the similar platform and then just add it to DAZN is a real, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's a real boost and bolster to the fact that they want to be serious. It's a real vaccination shot. I was going to say that they're going to be serious about sports, international and global sports.
Seeing guys like George Kambosos, Liam Pyro, Joe Opetaia, Justice Hooney, all Sky Nicholson as well, all head to that Matchroom stable. Eddie's talked about putting on shows down here. He's only done the one. What do you see him doing in Australia this year? Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, I spoke to Eddie at the Ring of Fire. We were in Riyadh together, and we spoke about Jai fighting. That was Fury. That was Fury Usyk won, but Jai fought Bredis for the second time on that fight. And Eddie Hearn spoke about coming to Australia and doing something big. So he's kind of manifested it, put a great old plan in place, and made it happen. And I think that Australia's a serious contender now when it comes to the sport of boxing. You mentioned some big names there, Liam Parrow. What George Kambosos did for Australia is fantastic. And Australia has had big names, don't get me wrong, but I think it's now all accumulating into one really big bundle. At this given time, there's lots of good athletes on a world level, even the way they perform and their notoriety. So I think it's great that we can bring boxing here, and people get to appreciate the long flights that we take from England to come to Australia. They're like, okay, I'm going to go on that flight now. Wow, it really is a long way. But once you're here, man, it's like it's just an open paradise. I think it's really good for boxing and Australia and for sport in general.
A few more for you. Haven't spoken since Liam Pyro's disappointing loss to Richardson Hitchens. Your thoughts on that fight and where Liam goes from here?
Great fight. I didn't speak to Liam before the fight, so I'm only speaking on what I've seen on the media. I think maybe Liam took one step too far, not as far as performance is concerned, but as far as strategic mental thought process is concerned. He was already talking about George Kambosos in Australia. I'm going to come to Australia and do the homecoming. So even though people say, oh no, I'm really focused on what's happening, it's very easy to just take your eye off the ball. And as we've mentioned in previous interviews, boxing's about milliseconds, milli-inches. If you haven't got it right 100% on the night, someone that has got it right will take it from you. And that's what Richardson Hitchens did. He used the Mayweather-esque technique of box, hold, turn, jab, jab, box, hold, turn, jab, jab. It was kind of beautiful to watch the strategy, and it was sad to see Liam lose so quickly after winning such a monumentous fight in the title. But, it wasn't a fight that wiped him out. It wasn't a fight that, knocked him out in 2 seconds. I think Liam's going to regroup, take a big, deep breath, and he's going to be right back at the top of the division.
Tszyu, a disappointing loss to Buckram. We spoke after that, but since that time, there's been a few things. Tim's done a couple of interviews. Said he hasn't really re-watched the fight. What do you make of those comments? How does Tszyu bounce back this year?
I think it'd be good if he could watch the fight. You know what I mean? Because if he can watch it objectively or unobjectively, whatever term fits, I think you'll really see some of the mistakes he made. He needed to take a step back, hold, make it dirty, drag it out, just take Murtazaev off his game, and he didn't. He kept running into a brick wall. It wasn't falling, he kept running back into a brick wall. He's got great people around him, and I'm sure he's going to come back, but I think that was something that's going to allow him to rethink his strategy, to maybe come back to grassroots, yes, come back to Australia where, you made your success, and just start again. And sometimes going back to the beginning can be a rebirth. I don't think that that's a fight that's going to end Tim's career or even come close. I think he can, I hope he does really well, trains hard, takes everybody seriously. Don't worry about Crawford. Don't worry about all the top dogs at the minute. Just focus on what's at hand, man. And I think, with his pedigree and his dad's advice and the people around him, I think he'll come back strong.
Saw his dad doing a little bit of training with him this past week. Do you think his dad will have a bit more input moving forward? And Nikita Tszyu as well. What do you see for him this year?
Well, as a dad, if my son got punched up, I just want to mash up the guy, you know what I mean? I just want to go and do damage to the guy. So I don't know if his dad's really going to help him strategically. But I think from a boxing standpoint and just basically giving boxing advice, you can't go past Costa Tszyu, do you know what I mean? But the thing about Tim is that Tim has different tools to Costa. Right, Costa had, really serious one-punch power, really serious one-punch aggression. Yes, Costa had some boxing skill as well, don't get me wrong. He had hundreds of amateur fights. But, Tim is, I think, somebody that's going to, outmaneuver you, outwork you, outjab you. He's got good long arms. He digs well to the body. He'll break you down, whereas Costa could just wipe you out in 3 seconds. So I think that if Tim tries to utilize his father's pure tactics, I don't know if that's going to work when you get right to the top of the division, as we saw with Murtazaev. But I think that just as far as boxing is concerned and using Tim's attributes to their best potential, then yes, certainly his dad's going to be a help.
And last one, Nikita. There's talk of a fight potentially with Michael Zarafa. Thoughts on that? Is it too early for Nikita, the Zarafa fight?
No. I want to see that fight, man. That's going to be a really good fight. Michael Zarafa, I know it sounds really strange and people are like, oh, Michael Zarafa's making a lot of noise. But I think Nikita needs Michael Zarafa, man. He's a good boxer. He's been right to the top. He's controversial. And I think he will really bring a lot more eyes to a fight with Nikita. Because in that fight, on paper, Nikita's moving up. And so people are going to see, is Nikita the real deal? Can he wipe Zarafa out? Can he take care of him? And can he move? Can he take that step toward level? Michael Zarafa is going to have the bit between his teeth to say, wait a minute, this kid's not going to beat me, man. I'm going to take him out and put him back to where he belongs. So I think the rivalry, the mentality, the fighting instinct is going to just make a brilliant fight week, fight month, or whatever it may be. Personally, I'd love to see that fight. I think it's going to be a smasher.
And just last one, what can we expect from you up here on the Gold Coast this week?
Everything, man. I'm going to be blogging. Like I said, my daughter's a fantastic international singer, and she took over my phone, and she's like, we're going to do it right, Dad. We're not doing it your way. So welcome to the 25th year of the 21st century. I'm here to stay and do something solid. So looking forward to it, man. Really looking forward to it.
Nice one. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Have a great day.